and welcome to the Last But One Pop Quest. Today's game will decide who is to be our fourth contender in next week's final. Also today, we see the last of our track facts in the quiz, but let me remind you that in a fortnight's time, there's a special half-hour track facts dealing with the record industry. But now, let's meet today's four semi-finalists.
Thank you, Sally. Our first is from Scotland, from Grangemouth in Stirlingshire. He's 16 years of age, and Miller Robertson. Welcome back. Nick Blake is our youngest semi-finalist. He's only 14. He's from Southampton in Hampshire. Welcome back to Paul Dixon from Westcliff-on-Sea in Essex. Paul's 17 years of age. And 16-year-old Darryl Jones from Atherstone in Warwickshire. As usual, our first game is called Climbers. It's the fastest on the button with the right answer gets 2 points. So let's begin with Sally.
One of Eric Clapton's finest albums, Layla, was recorded under the name of Derek and the Dominoes. But which American country rock guitarist was used extensively? Yes, Paul?
Dwayne Allman.
Absolutely right, 2 points.
Okay, listen to this.
Remember how we listened to the radio, and I said that's the place to be. And how I got the job as an FM jock the day you married me. It was
A recent hit for Harry Chapin. But what was the radio... Nick?
WOLD.
That's right. I was going to ask you the call letters of the radio station where he was the morning DJ, and you've got yourself 2 points.
Released in 1973, the album was called Mind Games. But who's... Miller?
John Lennon.
Absolutely right, 2 points.
Jim Capaldi had a hit in December 1975 with Love Hurts. Yes?
The Everly Brothers.
No, that wasn't the question. I'll complete the question. But which 50s rock and roll... Paul, you won't let me complete the question. What were you going to say?
Oh, sorry, it's slipped my mind.
You don't want to say anything?
No.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask, but which 50s rock and roll ballad singer wrote this and many other hits? It was Roy Orbison, and I can't offer that anymore. Okay, so...
Right, now I'd like you to listen to this. That was the Beach Boys, but minus the voices. Can you tell me what track was it? Yes, Nick.
You're so good to me.
Yes, well done. 2 points, Nick.
Seals and Crofts, an American duo with a soft rock style. They wrote Summer Breeze, which was a hit for the Isley Brothers, but what are their Christian names, the first names of Seals and Crofts? Nobody want to have a go? Seals and Crofts' first name? Paul?
I know one.
Well, try one for 1 point.
Dick Seals.
I'm sorry, that's no points. Jim Seals and Dash Crofts.
Made his name in the 60s as a fine guitarist on the British folk scene. Best known recorded work includes Needle of Death and Davy Graham's Angie. Formed Pentangle in 1968. Who is he? No one know that one? It's Burt Yanks.
Okay, listen to these 2 tracks. They've been edited together. Paul, you pressed the button and your light went on, but I didn't ask the question, so you give me an answer.
It's the first one was the Jackson 5.
Yes.
And the second one was Jackson Brown.
That's right. You guessed the question, and you've got yourself 2 points.
Well, at the end of Climbers, we've got a tie situation between Paul and Nick, who both have 4 points. Miller has 2, and Darryl is yet to score. Although, of course, it's early days yet, let me remind you that only one of these contestants will be coming back next week for a place in the final. But now, on with the game, and back to you, Kid.
Thank you, Sally. It's the top 10 time where the contestants can make their own choice of subject, and the subjects range in value, point value that is, from 4 through to 10. Hit picks feature 6 tracks from a well-known band or artist, and it's 1 point for each correct title of the song. There's also the chance of winning not only a Super Sound Special, but a rock reader as well, and they're hidden amongst the even numbers. Now, number 1, the Joker, can earn you 10 points if you're right, but if you're wrong, it's -4, and if you go below 0, then I'm afraid that's it, you're out of the game. And we'll begin our top 10 game with Darryl. What number would you like from the board?
Number 7, please.
Number 7, that's a hit pick, so you're going to hear 6 tracks from a well-known band or artist. Now, the important thing to remember here is we want the name of the songs that you hear in the order in which you hear them, so they have to be in the correct order. Let's find out what group or artist you've got.
You hurt me, then you make me cry.
starts to rain, it begins to pour.
The very talented Neil Sedaka. Darryl, how many songs did you get? And remember, they have to be in the order.
Number 1 was Oh Carol.
That's right for 1 point.
Number 2, That's When the Music Takes
That's
Me.
right for 2 points.
I don't know number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Laughter in the Rain.
That's good for 3 points.
Number 5, Honky Cats.
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't.
No, I don't know number 6.
And you don't know number 6.
No.
Okay, well, the songs as they came up, Oh Carol, you got. That's Where the Music Takes Me, you got for 2 points. Our last song together was one you missed. Laughter in the Rain was the fourth song. You got that, so that means you have 3 points. Standing on the Inside you missed, and the final song you missed was Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. Miller, it's your choice.
Could I have 10, please?
Number 10. Now, that's a pop question, okay? Love Sculpture, featuring Dave Edmunds, had a top 10 UK hit in 1968. What was it called?
Save or Dance.
That's right, for 4 points. Now, Nick.
Number 5, please.
Number 5, okay? You're going for a total of 6 points if you get the songs in the correct order from a band or artist. Let's find out who.
Only child. Every day I work so hard, bringing home my heart and pain. Try to love you, baby, but you push me away.
Led Zeppelin. Nick?
Number 1, Whole Lot of Love.
That's right for 1 point.
Don't know number 2.
No.
Number 3, Heartbreaker.
Yes?
I don't know the rest at all.
You don't know any of the others?
No.
Okay. You picked up 2 points out of a possible 6. The Led Zeppelin tracks you didn't get were Kashmir, I Can't Quit You Baby, Trampled Underfoot, and Dazed and Confused. Paul, your choice.
Number 3, please.
Number 3, again, 6 songs from a band or artist, and they have to be in the order. Let's find out who you've got.
I wish that for just one time you could stand inside my shoes. They'll stone you when you're riding in your car. Oh, get sick, get well, hang around the inkwell, hang the bell, hard to tell if anything is gonna sell. After he took from you everything he could steal. Mothers and fathers throughout the land. After you and Kathy, all you know I can recite them all. Tell me where it hurts you, honey, I'll tell you who to call.
Bob Dylan. Paul?
Well, was the first one Rainy Day Women?
I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Not sure about the second one. Was the third one Subterranean Homesick Blues?
That's right for 1 point.
Well, I still have a guess.
It's the 4th song we want now.
Yeah, let's have a think. No, I don't know any of the others.
None of the others. Okay, well, you got 1 out of a possible 6. We started with Positively 4th Street, then we went to Rainy Day Women, then the Subterranean Homesick Blues you got, Like a Rolling Stone followed, after which came The Times They Are A-Changin' and Mighty Quinn.
Well, at the end of our first top 10 sections, the score is certainly very close. We've got 2 leaders. Miller and Nick both have 6 points each. Paul closely behind with 5, and Darryl has 3. We'll, of course, be returning to that board later in the game with 6 places still to go. But now Kid's going to tell us all about this week's track facts.
Right, a little sad because it's the last of our track fact features, but we're staying with radio. And this week, we're looking at the operation of a radio station from the point of view of the playlist, the records you hear, how it's compiled, and how the records are even played. As usual, 4 questions will be asked after we've seen the film, so let's have this week's look at how a program is put together on the radio.
The music that you hear on the radio has to be chosen from the many releases that flood into the radio stations each week. One way of doing this is to compile a playlist. Director of Programmes at Radio Hallam is Keith Skews. Keith, could you first of all tell us what exactly a playlist is?
A playlist is basically a list of records which are rotated on radio over a given period of time. Format radio or playlist radio goes back a few years, probably before you remember, to 1964 and pirate radio, which used to operate from ships and forts off the British coast. They emulated, I think is the word, the American format, which was playing a lot of records all day, normally from the charts, interspersed by new releases and a few golden oldies as well. So if you were to listen, perhaps, to one radio station for maybe 24 hours a day, you would hear that particular record that you were listening for maybe 5 or 6 times over that time. We have a playlist of 100 records, and to break that down, there are 40 top-selling records in our area, which is South Yorkshire. We play 30 new releases each week, and there's a list of 30 albums. So 40 plus 30 plus 30, that gives you a total of 100 records. And in addition to that, a disc jockey is given his own choice, or her own choice, of Revive 45s, oldies, if you like, which are played about every quarter of an hour.
That's how records get chosen. Now, how do they fit into a radio programme? Stuart Francis, programme supervisor of Pennine Radio. Stuart, could you tell us how a radio programme is put together? And first of all, how you queue up a record?
Well, the records have arrived in the studio, so you simply select your first record from the ones available on the playlist in the studio. Simply put the record onto the turntable, onto the baize mat, which ensures that the record isn't damaged in any way. Next thing, put the needle onto the record, roughly where you think it's going to start. Then, using one of the starting buttons on the big control panel here, you simply roll the record in, and you're listening for the start. And any second, there it is. So you stop the record, bring the record back to where it starts. Now that record's ready to roll. So let's just change over to this machine here, which is the jingle machine. Select a cartridge, put the cartridge in the machine, and look for the start button. Then you come back to the main panel here, and you check that the right faders are up, so you can then roll all these things together. So let's roll that jingle over the top of the introduction to the hot chocolate record, simply by pressing both buttons at the same time.
235 medium wave, 96 VHF stereo.
So there we are. Now, the gentleman on that cartridge has done the job of identifying the station. Meanwhile, while this record's playing, I've got a chance to read out some requests or give out information. Obviously, it's very important to get information over as quickly as possible. And this must also be done before the singer on the hot chocolate record starts to sing. OK, so that's it. It's a question of getting the speed, getting as much information over as possible. There need not be anyone else in the building at all. You have to control the whole radio station from this panel. You've got the news coming in, and so you have to control the news output. You also have to keep your eye on the commercial log. That tells you when you play your commercials. And once again, the commercials are found on cartridges like this. You come out, once again, by identifying the station.
235.
And you start your next record immediately. And you just keep the thing rolling and rolling and rolling. And so that's really how it's done. Perhaps we could end with another jingle that sounds like this.
Our own program theme, you may have recognized it, as a jingle package. Now let's find out how much you remember from the film you've just seen on radio. Sarah.
Right, each of these questions are worth 2 points. First of all, Miller. Keith Skews is the director of programmes at which independent local radio station?
Radio Hallam.
That's right, for 2 points. Nick, what single was Stuart Francis using to demonstrate the queuing of a record?
Heaven is the backseat of my Cadillac, hot chocolate.
That's right, 2 points. Paul, Pennine Radio's station ident was used over the top of that record. What was their stereo VHF frequency?
Was it 96?
Yes, that's right. Well done. Darryl, commercials and jingles on radio stations are transmitted on one of the following, which? Cassette, cartridge, or reel-to-reel tape?
Cartridge.
Yes, well done. 2 points.
Kind of a tight game. The scores read Miller has 8, Nick has 8. It's a tie for first place so far, but the game's far from over, of course. Paul has 7 points, and Darryl follows close behind with 5. Time now for our Keep On Tracking spot, where we play you part of an album track, and after we've heard and seen the artist in question, which this week is David Essex, we'll be asking you 4 questions. and it's an open round. First on the button with the right answer gets 2 points. If you get it wrong, though, I can offer it to the others for a bonus of 1 point. Let's have this week's track.
In a double-booked room in a hotel lobby, in the back of a black limousine. You say you look cute in an Ivy League suit, like a man on the TV screen. Yeah. Ooh, love, stars in your eyes and lies in your eyes. Talk about diamond and trick your wife now. Talk about diamond and a trick your wife now. Oh, love, stars in your eyes, lies in your eyes. Talk about diamond and a trick your wife now. Cool love, anybody wanna be cool love? Talk about diamond and a trick your wife.
Okay, you've just heard David's current single. From which album does it come? Miller.
Out on the Streets.
Out on the Streets is right for 2 points. David was born in one of the following places on July 23rd, 1947. Multiple choice. Was it the West End of London? Was it the East End of London?
East
Nick?
End.
East End of London is correct for 2 points. Your other choices would have been Newcastle or New York. What was the name of the character that David played in the film?
Jim McLean.
Jim McLean, right. Yeah, That'll Be the Day was the film. And finally, Rock On, David Essex's first hit single in the United Kingdom, was a top 10 hit. What was the highest position it reached? Was it Miller?
3.
Number 3 is right. The multiple choice was 1, 2, or 3, and you got it right for 2 points. Congratulations.
Well, at the end of Keep On Tracking, Miller is now our leader with 14 points. Nick has 10, Paul 7, and Darryl 5. But now we return to the top 10 board. Again, it's one selection each. Let me remind you that there's a bonus prize of a rock reader and a super sound special hidden behind one of those even numbers. Darryl, would you like to make your selection?
Number 9, please.
Right, number 9, you've selected a hit pick. That's 6 tracks from a well-known band or artist. I want to know the title of each track, and it's 1 point each for each correct title. So let's see who you've got. OK, Darryl, 6 tracks there from Wings. How did you make out?
I don't know number 1.
Pardon?
I don't know number 1.
Oh, fine.
Number 2, Listen to What the Man Said.
Yes, that's right.
Number 3 was Venus and Mars Rock Show.
That's right.
Number 4, Band on the Run.
Yes.
5, Jet.
Yeah.
Number 6, Silly Love Songs.
Well, you've done very well, Darryl. You've got 5 points out of a possible 6. The one you missed was Wildlife. OK, Paul, what selection would you like to make?
I don't think I'm faced with much choice. I'll go for number 1, please.
Well, Paul, that paid off for you the last time you were on the programme, I remember. See how it goes today. The phonograph, invented in the late 1800s, was the predecessor of today's gramophone. Who invented it?
Thomas Edison.
Absolutely right, Paul. 10 points. Well done. Well, you have every right to look relieved. Nick, what choice would you like to make?
Number 8, please.
Number 8. Well, Nick, you've got the chance of our bonus prize if you get the answer right. So here's your question for 4 points, a super sound special and a rock reader after we've seen this film.
In the morning, stepping for red sun, so that every mouth can be. Darling, she said that was yours to receive. Look, them a tear up choices to go. I don't want to end up like Bonnie and Clyde.
points to GTO for that clip from Side by Side. Here's your question, Nick. The track you have just heard was a #1 record in the UK for Desmond Dekker when it was first released. Can you name the year?
1969.
Well done, Nick. You win not only 4 points, but also a Super Sound Special and a Rock Reader. Miller, what choice would you like to make?
6, please.
Number 6 is the rock and roll question. Which British rock and roll band had a hit in 1960 with Shakin' All Over?
Johnny Kidd and the Pirates.
Well done, 4 points, Miller.
And at the end of that very exciting round, Miller has 18 points now in the lead, only slightly. Nick has 14, Paul has 17, and Darryl has 10.
Well, now we've only got pop pointers left to decide which one of these 4 contestants will be coming back next week for a place in the final. Each question is worth 2 points if it's answered correctly. If it's answered wrongly, it can be thrown open for a bonus point of 1. It's the quickest on the buzzer, so let's have the first question, kid.
Zal Clemenson is the lead guitarist for... Yes, Miller?
Sensational Alex Harvey Band.
That's good for 2 points.
What is the name of Roger Chapman and Charlie Whitney's current...
Streetwalkers.
Well done, Miller.
Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods had a #1 hit single in America. Nick? What happened there? I didn't quite follow that, but Miller, your light is on now.
Billy, don't be a hero.
That wasn't the answer to the question. I'll repeat the question. In America 1974, with Billy Don't Be a Hero, this was the hit single Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods had. Paul, I'm getting confused, yes?
Piper Lice.
That was right. Which group had the #1 in Britain? That's good for 1 point.
Which famous singer-songwriter wrote Reason to Believe and if... Yes, Miller?
Tim Haddon.
Yes, I was going to add If I Were a Carpenter.
What's the surname of the 3 Bee Gees? Paul?
Gibb.
That's good for 2 points.
Who is the female vocalist with Steel Eye Span? Nick?
Maddie Pryor.
Well done, Nick, yes.
Can you name 2 members of Queen apart from Freddie... Yes? Paul?
John Deacon
Yeah?
and Roger Taylor.
That's good for 2 points.
We've only just begun. Yes, Miller?
The Carpenters.
No, I'll finish the question. Just an Old-Fashioned Love Song and Rainy Days on Mondays were all written... Nick?
Paul Williams.
Yes, 1 point for
And
Nick.
that's it, the end of the game. What an exciting game. And we have our last winner now through to next week's final, and it's Miller Robinson from Grangemouth, Stirlingshire. Congratulations to you, Miller. Congratulations, Miller. And what about some applause for the losers who did such a fantastic job of making it a great game?
Well, next week is the big battle with our 4 second-round winners competing for the PopQuest trophy and a selection of prizes. And we've got a few surprises in store for them.
We've got a completely new top 10 board, and also the contestants will be battling against the clock. So join us next Wednesday at 4:45 as we look forward to meeting the new pop pundit of Great Britain. See you then. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.